Ready to learn fencing? Let's start at the beginning. In this video, we'll cover everything from the fencing piste to scoring points. We'll explain the 3 fencing weapons and teach you the key rules. By the end, you'll be ready to try fencing yourself. Fencing is an Olympic combat sport that involves sword fighting. There are 3 main weapons in fencing: foil, saber, and épée. Each has its own set of rules and target areas, which we'll explore later in the video. The battlefield for fencers is called the piste. It's a long, narrow strip measuring 14 meters in length and up to 2 meters in width. This is where all the action happens. To start a bout, fencers salute each other, then take their en-garde positions. The referee begins the match with the commands "Prêt, allez," which means "Ready, go," in French. From there, the fencers engage in a fast-paced battle of skill and strategy. As we continue, you'll learn about the complex rules and exciting strategies that make fencing a truly unique sport. Are you ready to dive deeper into the world of fencing? Now that we've covered the basics, let's explore the 3 fencing weapons in detail: the foil, saber, and épée. Each weapon has its own unique characteristics and rules, making fencing a diverse and challenging sport. Let's start with the foil. It's the lightest of the 3 weapons, weighing a maximum of 500 grams. The foil is primarily a thrusting weapon, which means points are scored by making contact with the tip of the blade. As one source states, the foil is the smallest and lightest of the 3 weapons, and the target area is anywhere on the torso or the back. This limited target area adds an extra layer of precision to foil fencing. Moving on to the saber, we find a weapon that allows for both cutting and thrusting attacks. Like the foil, it weighs up to 500 grams, but its target area is different. According to our research, the saber is the fastest of the 3 disciplines. The target area is now anywhere above the waist. This includes the head and arms, making saber fencing a fast-paced and dynamic discipline. Finally, we have the épée, the heaviest of the 3 weapons. It can weigh up to 775 grams and has the largest target area. As one expert explains, the épée is the biggest and the heaviest of the 3 swords, but the target area is now the entire body. This means that in épée fencing, any hit on the opponent's body is valid. Now, let's talk about the types of attacks allowed for each weapon. For the foil and épée, only thrusting attacks are permitted. This means fencers must make contact with the tip of their blade to score points. The saber, on the other hand, allows for both thrusting and cutting attacks. Fencers can score points by hitting their opponent with either the tip or the side of the blade. To keep track of these hits, fencing uses an electronic scoring system. This system uses lights to indicate when a valid hit has been made. For foil and saber, a hit is only considered valid if it lands within the designated target area. In épée, any hit to the body counts as a valid point. It's important to note that in foil fencing, off-target hits stop the action but don't score points. In saber, off-target hits don't stop the action, allowing for continuous play. Épée doesn't have off-target hits, since the entire body is a valid target. Another crucial concept in foil and saber fencing is the right-of-way rule. This rule determines which fencer receives the point if both land a hit simultaneously. The fencer who initiated the attack first is awarded the point. This adds a strategic element to these disciplines, as fencers must consider both offense and defense. Understanding these weapons, their target areas, and the types of attacks allowed is crucial for anyone looking to start fencing. Each weapon offers a unique challenge and requires different skills and strategies. Now that we've covered the weapons and target areas, let's explore how points are scored and how to win in fencing. The basic concept is simple. You score points by making contact with your opponent's target area using your weapon. However, the details can get quite complex, especially when it comes to the right-of-way rule. In foil and saber fencing, the right-of-way rule determines which fencer receives the point if both land a hit simultaneously. The fencer who initiated the attack first is awarded the point. This adds a strategic element to these disciplines, as fencers must consider both offense and defense. In épée, there is no right-of-way rule. If both fencers hit each other within 1.25th of a second, they both receive a point. Individual fencing bouts are structured into 3 3-minute periods. The first fencer to score 15 points is declared the winner. If neither fencer reaches 15 points within the time limit, the fencer with the highest score wins. This format encourages fast-paced, strategic play, as fencers try to outscore their opponents within the time constraints. Team competitions in fencing have a different structure. They involve 3 fencers per team with a total of 9 3-minute periods. The team that reaches 45 points first or has the highest score at the end of the time wins the match. This format allows for more tactical play, as teams can strategize about which fencers to put up against their opponents in each round. It's important to note that fencing has a system of penalties to ensure fair play. These penalties are categorized into 3 types. 1. Yellow cards serve as warnings. 2. Red cards award a point to the opponent. 3. Black cards result in disqualification from the bout. These penalties can be given for various infractions, such as unsportsmanlike conduct, dangerous play, or leaving the piste without permission. In some cases, a bout may end in a tie. When this happens, a 1-minute sudden death tiebreaker is held. The first fencer to score a valid hit wins the bout. If no hits are scored during this extra minute, the fencer with priority, determined by a coin toss, wins the bout. The referee plays a crucial role in fencing matches. They can call a halt to the bout for various reasons, including when a touch is scored, if the fencing becomes dangerous or confused, or if one fencer leaves the piste. This ensures the safety of the fencers and the integrity of the match. Understanding these rules and scoring systems is crucial for anyone looking to get into fencing. They form the foundation of strategy in the sport. Knowing how points are awarded, how bouts are structured, and what penalties can be incurred allows fencers to make informed decisions during a match. Now that we've covered the basics of scoring and winning bouts, let's explore the strategies and techniques that can lead to victory in fencing. Understanding these elements will take your knowledge to the next level and give you valuable insights into the sport. Fencing employs both offensive and defensive techniques. Let's start with offensive techniques, which include attacks, ripostes, and feints. An attack is the initial offensive action made by extending the arm and continuously threatening the opponent's target. There are 4 main types of attacks: straight thrust, disengage attack, counter disengage attack, and cutover. In saber fencing, attacks can also involve a cutting action. A riposte is an attack made by the defender after successfully parrying an opponent's attack. This technique is crucial in foil and saber, where right-of-way rules apply. It allows the defender to quickly turn defense into offense. Feints are false attacks, intended to provoke a reaction from the opposing fencer. They create openings that the attacker can exploit. Feints require quick thinking and good footwork to be effective. On the defensive side, we have parries and counterattacks. A parry is a basic defensive technique that blocks the opponent's weapon while it is preparing or executing an attack. The goal is to deflect the blade away from the fencer's valid target area. Mastering different types of parries is essential for effective defense. A counterattack is an offensive move executed while retreating from an opponent's attack. This technique is often used in épée to score against the attacker's hand or arm. It requires precise timing and good judgment to execute successfully. Footwork and positioning on the piste are critical for effective fencing. Proper footwork allows fencers to maintain balance, control distance, and launch attacks or defenses effectively. Techniques such as lunges and retreats are fundamental to positioning. Good footwork can make the difference between landing a hit and missing your target. An interesting aspect of fencing strategy is the concept of non-combativity. This occurs when both fencers refuse to engage. If the referee determines that neither fencer is making an effort to attack, they will stop the bout and declare non-combativity. This can strategically influence the following period, so understanding when and how to use this tactic is important. Safety is paramount in fencing, and protective equipment plays a crucial role. Fencers wear jackets, plastrons, gloves, breeches, masks, and lames. These items are designed to withstand significant force and protect against impacts from blades. For example, the fencing mask must withstand 12 kilograms of pressure on the metal mesh and 350 newtons on the bib. This ensures the fencer's head and neck are well protected during bouts. It's worth noting that in fencing, techniques can serve both offensive and defensive purposes. For example, a beat can be used to gain priority while simultaneously disturbing the opponent's aim. This dual-purpose nature of many techniques adds to the complexity and dynamic nature of fencing strategies. As one expert puts it, the attacks and defenses may be performed in countless combinations of feet and hand actions. This highlights the intricate and varied nature of fencing techniques. Each bout is a unique combination of these elements, making fencing a constantly evolving and challenging sport. We've covered a lot of ground in this guide to fencing. You now know about the 3 weapons, foil, saber, and épée, and their target areas. You understand how to score points and win bouts, including the right-of-way rule. We've also explored offensive and defensive techniques, as well as the importance of footwork and positioning. With this knowledge, you're ready to start your fencing journey. Remember, fencing isn't just a sport, it's a path to personal growth. It develops discipline, agility, and strategic thinking. As one expert puts it, fencing is a sport that combines physical skill with mental strategy, making it a rewarding pursuit for anyone willing to learn. To put your new knowledge into practice, look for local fencing clubs or classes in your area. Many offer beginner courses where you can try out the sport and see if it's right for you.